Hi guys, my name is Laynie Nichols from Paul Mitchell School Clear Lake. I'm the education lead here at this school, and what we're going to talk about today is to recreate a style with our waver and also with a straightener. Alrighty, so in order for us to recreate this look, we do have to cover some of our fundamental statuses first. So one thing I want to do is identify her texture and formation. In order to identify the texture and formation, you do have to go in and feel the hair. So the very first thing is I'm going to grab a single strand of hair and we are going to run down the cuticle, seeing if we can feel anything of it. With that being said, I would identify her formation and texture to be straight for the formation and for her texture, a medium texture. So with that being said, you can always utilize the characteristics of your hair type chart. What this will do will tell you all the ins and outs, what you can and cannot do for those types of clients with that type of texture and formation. So what services we can give them and what will really allow their hair to handle the most. So with that being said, with our medium to straight, it has some versatility in styling, which means that it will require more product for a hold. Now speaking of product, we do have a chart to help you pick any selection for any style that you are trying to recreate or give for your client's desired end result. So one of those will be our style and consultation charts. With our style and consultation chart, you do have a few steps that you have to complete in order to read this chart properly. The very first thing you're going to identify is the dominant length of the hair. So that is what we identify as depth here with Paul Mitchell, and that will be from scalp to ends, which you can tell our beautiful client here has long hair. So her depth is long. As you can see, I did write a little cheat sheet for y'all just so you can follow along. The second step that you want to do is what we've already done, which is identifying that texture and formation. So with that being said, this chart does have 2 pages. At the very top, it'll tell you short to medium, and then at the very top of the second page, it'll show you medium to long. After identifying that, you will go under the straight to medium texture, and you will identify what kind of control or volume technique you want to use. For today's purposes, we will be focusing on control. With our control, we will be using some thermal protection because we are using some heat work. Now, with our iron work, one thing I want to touch on is the different types of irons that we have with Paul Mitchell. As you can see behind me, we do have our NUERO line, which has our titanium plating. And off to the left and the right of me, we have our Ion Plus line, which is our ceramic plating. It's very beneficial to understand these 2 types of plating for your desired guest and also what your desired outcome will be. For her, she is a very lucky young lady. We can use any iron on her because she does have that medium texture. But if she had more of a fine texture, you would want to lean more towards your ceramic plates versus your titanium plates. Now, titanium plates will definitely cause a more shine, which you will notice that we got a great shine with that as well off of our mannequin head. So the very first thing I'm going to show y'all is that I am going to be using a titanium plate with a flat iron method to create the wave with our straightener look, and then we're going to use a ceramic plating with our waver to help identify the different style on this side. So once we have determined what tool we're going to use, we're also going to determine what products to use. Now, the products that you want to focus on are your foundation, your muscle, and your finish. The reason why you want to focus on that is because they all do a certain job for you to make sure that the desired end result is achieved. So the very first thing I want you to notice is that our foundation is there to equalize porosity. Now the second thing that we have is our muscle, and that's going to provide strength in your style. If you notice, these curls are not going to go anywhere. They have a maximum strength at this moment. And then last but not least will be our finishing product. That is going to be there to help keep the style and hold it for longevity. And if you're in Texas like I am, you got to fight humidity. So once we have gone in and done our pre-dry and our finish method for blow drying our client to get that style started, I do want to pull in 2 different types of foundation, muscle, and finishes. So for my blow dries, I do use a NEURO Prime, which is a heat protectant. It will help against the wind heat. We also use the flexible style sculpting foam. This will help keep that hold, so this will be identified as your muscle. And then I'm going to finish it by sealing that cuticle down with our styling treatment oil by AWAPUHI Oil Ginger. Once the blow dry method is complete, I will begin by starting the flat wrap method with my pre-dry, and then we will go into our directional finish. This will provide movement and control for you. Now, I'm going to go in with my dry styling, foundation, muscle, and finish. So the very first thing I'm going to use today is our heat protectant from NUERO. This is called NEURO Protect. Again, it's going to protect from any iron heat. One thing that I prefer to do with long hair is less clipping. It's a little bit more manageable to control because you have length. Notice that the aerosol can is a good spray. You don't have to be right on top of the hair. It will mist it. It's also going to mist larger sections. That's a great benefit of this. Now, if you do need a different option because you can't find this at your local store or with your local salons, you can always replace it with hot off the press. Again, I'm going to go through, add some heat protecting on all of our sections, and then I'll go in with a working hairspray which will act as my muscle. Now, the muscle that I chose today will be the flexible style Work Up. It is a working hairspray, so it's iron friendly. It won't cause you to stick. And then we will finish it with the finishing spray by AWAPUHI. Now, it is very important that you utilize your foundation, muscle, and finish not only in your blow dries, but in your desired end result finish as well. The reason is because, yes, that primer will protect from heat, but will it protect it from both sides of the plates from the straightener? Yes, it will, but you might need more protection because, again, I'm using 2 plates versus 1. So once I have gotten my products evenly saturated in the hair, I'm going to comb through just to get rid of any tangles. And then I'm going to section out about the size of my barrel or my iron. So on the right side of my mannequin today, we will be using the flat iron, the NUERO, with the titanium plates. This is the NUERO Halo, one of my favorite irons. And what we're going to do is roll this iron to about 180 degrees, and then we're going to do the polar opposite of it and roll it 180. As you do, you're going to drag down a little bit. It is very important that you focus on maintaining the hair before it is fed into a straight pattern. You also want to grab your ends to where they are secured and close together to completely control this look. Once you have set in the wave, I want you to go ahead and spray it. Now, the more you let it dry, or the more you let it cool down, the longer it will hold that shape. So it's a very important step for everyone to remember. Now, one thing I do love about the AWAPUHI Wild Ginger finishing spray is that it has a gorgeous shine. So not only is it going to add that hold, but it's also going to give you that added shine. So we're going to do one more for demo purposes, just so everybody can make sure we get a good view and visual of everything. I am adding a little bit more worked up just to provide some more hold so there's more memory that is happening with our irons. Again, you want to take the width of your iron. You don't want to take too big of sections. Now, one thing that I do with the flat iron waves that you cannot do with the waver is offset my waves. So if you notice, I rolled up first, so now I'm going to go and roll it down. So what that looks like is I'm going to go in with my iron, and we're just going to roll it down, and then we're going to roll it back up, completing those 360s. As you can see, I'm bending that hair to where it's keeping that shape as well in that wave. Now, why is this something that you want to learn? It's very important that you know that you can complete multiple jobs and multiple tasks with the same tool. So yes, I might be wanting that desired end result, but this is what I got in my kit. You can always complete these by learning how to utilize your tools in more than one way. So again, once you've completed your iron work, you're going to let it cool down so it keeps that shape. I do like to keep it a little separated, and I will spray it down, trying to whisk all those flyaways as well. So the very next thing that we're going to do is flip-flop sides here, and we are going to again add the same foundation, muscle, and finish products, going in with my heat protectant, section by section, so we can prepare this side of her hair for the waver. Again, you would always want to focus that product where you know all the way from the scalp to the ends, because we will be ironing all the way through the ends. All right, so we're going to go ahead and begin by taking a horizontal parting. Again, we're only going to take an inch width of a section because we are going to keep our control. The difference between my waver technique versus my straightener technique is I do add my finish spray as a working spray as well, just because I noticed that the waver does have a tendency of getting a little bit hotter and I can go through the sections a little bit quicker, but I do still follow up with a finishing spray at the end. So again, we are going to take the Paul Mitchell waver. We're going to go ahead in at the base and we're going to hold it for roughly about 5 seconds. Now when you are doing iron work, it is extremely important that you match the temperature based off of the texture and formation. With her having medium hair to being straight, I do know that she can take a little bit more heat than fine hair, but she does not need to take the same amount of heat as if somebody who had more coarse hair. So my iron is actually set on 360 degrees at this moment, just protecting enough of her hair to where it's not scorching. So you notice there's no steam coming off of this iron. That is one thing I do love about our ceramic plating, is that it is very temperature friendly and it works at low temperatures versus everybody trying to put it on a 460. So again, like I said, once you've gone in and you added your waver, go ahead and finish it. Now if you notice there might be some flyaways coming on, especially when you're doing photographs of your work, if you want to take the spine of your comb and just going in and pressing while that beautiful hairspray is setting, that will help you control your flyaways. So we'll do a few more sections for demo purposes. Again, using the finishing spray as a working spray as well, getting it on both sides. Now the reason why I do not use the finishing spray with a straightener is because of those titanium plates always adding shine. That is one of the benefits that come from a titanium plate versus a ceramic. So with our AWAPUHI Wild Ginger finishing spray, it does add shine and hold at the same time. So again, we're going to go in and press at the root, holding for about 5 seconds, then going again, 5 seconds. Now if you want more of a softer wave, you can always go in with less time. So now we are going to finish our style with our finishing spray one more time, just to set that style in so it doesn't go anywhere and last all day. Depending on what kind of event they are having, would help determine what kind of holds you do want to eventually choose for when you are working with a hairspray. So this concludes our tutorial on how to create a beachy wave look with our flat iron and with the Paul Mitchell waver. If you have any questions, any comments, concerns, go ahead and drop a comment below, even if you're interested in finding new styles or tutorials that you want to see. Don't forget to like, subscribe to Not Far From Normal.